Hey everybody, welcome back to That's WAC. Today we are going to be talking about WAC 110-300-0300. This is individual care plans. So essentially, if your child has a special need, like what to do, what child care should do. An early learning provider must develop an individual care plan for each child with special needs and must notify the department when a child with special needs is enrolled or identified in the early learning program. Plans and documentation required under the section must meet the requirements of this section, obviously, be available for department review, have written permission from a child's parent or guardian stating that a visiting health professional may provide services to the child at the early learning services or early learning program if applicable. So, hi, Dino. So if there's a child that, say, for instance, has autism and they have an ABA come in, you just have to have written permission from the child's parents that they can come in. Have verified that early learning program staff involved with that particular child has been trained on implementing the individual care plan if applicable. This is where most early learning providers fail. They don't train the staff like they're supposed to. They're really supposed to. Like the staff needs to see the IEP. Um, let's see. Be updated annually or when there is a change in the child's special needs and be kept in the child's file. So the IEP needs to be in the child's file. Teachers need to know what it is and how to use it. The individual care plan must be signed by the parent or guardian and may be developed using a department-provided template. It must contain the child's diagnosis if known, contact information for the primary healthcare provider or relevant specialist, a list of medications to be administered at scheduled times or during an emergency, along with descriptions of symptoms that would trigger emergency medication, directions on how to administer the medication, allergies, food allergy and dietary needs, activity, behavioral, or environmental modifications that the child may need, known symptoms and triggers for the child, emergency response plans, and what procedure to perform, and suggested special skills training and education for the early learning program staff, including specific pediatric first aid and CPR for special healthcare needs. Yeah, anything to do with the staff. Yeah, usually that's where it falls, man, where it falls through the gaps. An early learning provider must have supporting documentation of the child's special needs provided by the child's licensed or certified physician or physician assistant, mental health professional, educational professional, social worker with a bachelor's degree or higher that specializes in individual child needs, or a registered nurse or advanced nurse practitioner. An early learning provider's written plan and documentation for accommodation must be informed by any existing IEP, so individual education plan, individual health plan, an IHP, a 504 plan, or individual family service plan, IFSP. So if an early childhood provider is coming up with an individual care plan, it has to be informed by any of those other documents if they have them. So if a child already has, a 504 plan, like they're going to use that to create the individual care plan. So yeah, that is WAC 110-300-0300. And like I said, centers are usually pretty good about coming up with the plans, not usually very good about implementing and training staff. So hopefully that gets better. I know a lot of childcare teachers want that. They want that training and stuff. So alrighty. But yeah, so that is individual care plans. And I'll see you guys next week. And Gino says hello. Yes, Gino is a snuggle baby. I've got Coda under my feet, but Coda doesn't like the camera. These are my dogs, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. All right. Bye, guys.